So that could be interesting for sure. And again, as a reminder, as we're entering Pool 2, the difficulty distribution is 11s, 12s, and 13s. About 60% of songs can be expected as 11s, 25% are 12s, and 15% are 13s. For those of you who are joining us within the last 20 minutes or so, as a reminder, this is a round-robin style tournament, so we just went through Pool 1. The winner of that pool, who in this case was Creteture, gets promoted into the next pool to join the 3 previous players. Then those players will go through the same process through Pool 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until finally we have 2 players promoted into the top 4, where it will then shift into a double elimination bracket. So what's nice about having that style of tournament is that it is going to allow for players who are seeded prior to the tournament beginning to be able to play against players of a similar ability level. As you'll see from Pool 1, it can lead to some really close matches, some really hype moments. That last match was decided based on just 1 EX, so don't be surprised if we see some more 1 EX differentials in Pool 2. So I'm looking at our card draw here, and it looks like we're starting with Paranoia, followed by Osaka Evolved. I can't tell what type that is, but any Osaka is going to be ridiculous. Type 3, Osaka Type 3. So, Osaka Type 3 has the best sync of the Osakas, but the weirdest gimmicks of the Osakas in terms of what is a great warm-up song to do that with. You can see from also just the quality of the warm-up that they're really close on their EX differential right now, and I think that is going to show us that in the future actual match songs, we can expect there to be a really close skill differential. And I am now going to be joined by a new partner in crime on the microphone. We just had Bagman leave us, but we've got a new friend joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, you want to get a little bit closer to the microphone, yeah.
How's this? Yeah, my name's Ed. Yeah, you can call me Ed. Nice to meet you all. It's my first time commentating, so
oh, that's
yeah.
wonderful. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I guess to add my 2 cents, I also like to choose City Never Sleeps as a warm-up song. It's just very crisp.
That's right, the sync is pretty spot on.
Yeah, it's not like those songs where you figure out what offset to use, because it is the offset.
Yeah, well, Paranoia, the song that we're about to see now, is a prime example of a song that is not very crisp.
This is the opposite of City Never Sleeps, shall I say.
As you can see on the screen right now, it says the BPM ranges from 170 to 184. It's not meant to do that. It's meant to just be 180, but it's so off that they have to keep switching it back and forth just so that it stays on.
Apparently, the lore is that they apparently use like a nurse call button or one of those buttons to determine the sync on this song, or so they say. I can't tell if that's really what they did, but
I believe it. So we're getting right into our first song of Pool 2 between ItalianFalchion and doumeki, starting off on an exact tie within the first 40 steps. That shows you just what this pool is going to look like. I think we're going to see a lot of really, really, really tight matches.
Yeah, I've known both these people, and they've grown a lot, let's just say that. And let's see.
Right now, about 3 EX difference between the 2 of them.
A lot of BPM fluctuations here. If you can see, sorry, I think that cut out for a sec. But if you see, the BPM, at the bottom, you can see it changes every other beat.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Regardless, both players seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, especially ItalianFalchion right now, only 15 EX off of the main, which at this point in the song tells us that they're pretty much getting all perfect, or all marvelouses. Just a couple perfect sneaking in here and there, maybe one or two greats.
This part is pretty notorious, I think.
Yeah, anything can happen here. As we see, there's a good picked up by ItalianFalchion. They're just 1 EX away.
1 EX.
Wow. And see, that's what can happen in that ending. ItalianFalchion had just a little bit of a lead, and then when you pick up a good like that, you suddenly drop right behind.
Yeah, even pretty large EX differences could really just fall to the ending, especially, well, due to a lot of circumstances, I think. But that ending is pretty hard, especially if you think about how old it is, considering.
That's right. That's a difficulty level that you didn't see very much at that time.
I remember playing that on, I mean, let's just say that ending really got a lot of child knees.
A little bit of frustration. Now we shift into Osaka Evolved Type 3, which has true BPM changes. True BPM in the sense that it's not fake like in Paranoia. It is technically all at the same speed, but it does some interesting things where it actually does a 2/3 BPM shift and changes the note skin from yellow.
You don't see that very often, I think. You can see that, like, DDR does not do that very often. Off the top of my head, I can think of, like, Electronic Retreat, which does, like, the metric modulation thing, but this one is Type 3 in particular, and Type 3 is really funny because it starts off like this.
Very slow.
Yes. So, you know, like all Osakas, it starts off at 50 BPM. But if you don't know that, then, I mean...
Yeah, and it looked like it just a little bit fast for doumeki there. It's kind of the trade-off in terms of the Osakas, that as you go up the types, the gimmicks get a little bit stranger in terms of the differentials between them. But the sync does get a little bit better. So in certain ways, they kind of even out.
I like to think of Type 1 as the freeze heavy chart. No, Type 1 has both freezes and jumps.
Right.
Type 2 is the jump heavy chart, and Type 3 is the freeze heavy chart. I think all three songs, at least, you know, from my experience, have really funny sync in terms of like drift and just overall trying to like lock in regardless of the BPM changes.
The fact that they're right now only about 6 EX away is kind of incredible given the amount of speed changes in this song. And there's going to be several more speed changes. So there's still plenty of opportunities for these players to kind of shift the lead. And look at that, only 3 EX.
I think we might see another close one here.
All right, we've got one more speed change after this. Okay, final moments of the song. What's going to happen? Oh, looks like ItalianFalchion with a little bit of a pull ahead right there at the end.
Very impressive showing, I think, by both players.
Yeah.
That beginning is pretty notorious, though. Especially for Type 3, if you only play the other Osakas.
All right, and that means that we're going to go to a third match because we have a split between the first two songs. Always exciting to see. The difference between a perfect and a marvelous is 0.016 seconds. So that's a pretty small window to be winning or losing a match on.
And, you know, in the vacuum, like, each perfect or marvelous might not seem to matter. I mean, you know, we get them all the time. But, like...
They add up quick.
Yeah,
Wow, they are absolutely destroying these swing steps. Both of them holding on to amazing gold combos right now. I'm not afraid to say it. All right, 14 EX difference right now.
I think being good at swing charts is certainly definitely a skill or a talent that,
Oh, and it's actually the same moment that they both got that great there from the crossover. Totally understandable. All right, I'd say a healthy but not insurmountable lead from ItalianFalchion right now.
Oh.
That's a tough crossover into that freeze right there.
If I remember correctly, I think the latter half of this song pulls some interesting footwork. Let's see here.
Well, that's an opportunity for doumeki to make a comeback.
Yeah.
All right, and an amazing showing from both players, but ItalianFalchion going to take this one. Our first winner within the second pool. We're going to see our other two players step up soon, and that will be our promoted player, who was Creteture, as well as BagMan, who was our previous commentator.
Really strong showing by both doumeki and Falchion, I want to say.
Legs lock up at all? Is it going to take a little bit of loosening? The one benefit is that, given that this is BagMan's first set, it will also give Creteture the opportunity to play a warm-up song leading into it, so he won't be coming in completely frozen up after his first.
I feel like it matters a lot of, it's, you know, a lot of things fall down into, you know, just when you happen to step up on the pads, or when you're when you're scheduled to be on. It's so easy to be like not your 100%.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Really, you know, I think it's just as easy to be very tired or under.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
No, it's a tight wire to walk, basically. You know, you want to stay warm, you want to stay active, you want to make sure that your legs are ready, but you also don't want to overdo it. And it's tough to stay in that perfect window, basically, of the amount of tired that you want to be. It's usually a good sign when you're sweaty, but you want to be sweaty, you want to be breathing, you want to be loose. But man, can that quickly dip into slowing you down and breathing too heavy and kind of getting exhausted.
We are starting off, I think this is the warm-up song. Whose warm-up song is this?
What a warm-up choice. That's a BagMan warm-up choice if I've ever seen one.
I am not surprised. I think BagMan's whole, well, if you haven't heard it by this namesake, his whole gimmick, I think, is gimmicky songs.
Okay. So right now, I'm taking a look at our card draw, and it looks like Ishtar Difficult is going to be the first of our songs. Ishtar is a very interesting song. It's got relatively good sync. It has a couple little burst motions in there. Most people know it for its challenge chart because of the shock arrows. But the difficult chart is no slouch. Neither the difficult nor the expert chart are easy for their difficulty.
I do know that the expert chart kind of has, you kind of have to like figure out what foot to lead on. I feel
Exactly.
like it also some of those small bursts have that ambiguous energy to it. I don't know how much of a problem that will be for the difficult, but
Less so, but it is still a tricky difficult chart. But if you want to get ready for tricky charts,
well,
you look at what you're seeing right now.
I don't think you said this was BagMan's warm-up song.
Well, it is of the nature of something BagMan would
Okay,
pick.
yeah. guitar. I really like Gekidan Records' discography, I suppose. All right. Very close. Entering the free section. All right. 12 EX difference so far. Anything can happen though. Both players still holding a PFC. All right, final stretch. Both players end with a PFC. Very impressive. Holy crap. 19 perfects and 9 perfects. I believe that may be your first STP today. Very impressive showing by both players.
That's a good DDR.
And I believe both players have sight read this, as they both have zeros on their score. I believe our next song, Kita Beta 12, just Nico QP.
All right, so after Ishtar, we have now got another Japanese title song from, I believe, the Ace era?
I don't really remember. There's several Hinobita 200 BPM 12s that come off my mind.
I know, so many in the last couple years.
Oh.
But it's got some fast little 16th bursts there at the beginning. Yeah, this is such a great match. Look at them. Well, as I tell you to look at them, you lose the opportunity to for a moment. But yeah, wow, this is only a couple EX apart for such a fast song.
Very close match so far. A lot of very tricky foot speed for a 12 here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of the harder 12s, I would say. And yet, despite that, both of them are doing so well, staying within just a couple EX of each other.
A couple EX? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like about 6 now. No, down.
BagMan barely has a lead.
All right, this is one that's going to be down all the way to the last notes. Okay, 2 EX. Can Creteture hold on to it, or is BagMan going to make this final push?
Oh, this is very
Oh,
close.
and it looks like he does. They're right there.
Oh my
It's
God.
tied.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
1
God.
EX. Oh!
There we go. We have a tie. That final crossover.
After being up by 1 EX, the final crossover brings it back so that it's a tied.
Very thrilling conclusion to that. Huh? I believe, Frame.
Got it.
How do you say his name? Creteture.
So right now, Kemi is actually taking the time to explain to both BagMan and Creteture what the heck they do next, because I think sometimes it can get a little bit confusing in terms of like, oh, we got the tie. What does that mean? In terms of, does that mean that we both get points? Does it mean that neither of us get points? Do we have to continue playing? But they do continue playing from here. Wow, I'm still reeling from that ending. Breathing heavy, man, that was exciting. And you could see it on both of their faces too. They're so excited.
Is this going to the third song in this case?
Yes, it does. So basically, when a draw happens, the song just counts as +0 in the directions of each of their standings. And so if after this next song it's 1-1, they'll have to do a random card draw for basically the continued pool. It will be the same as the previous draw, but just for one song.
Okay. So if I'm seeing this right, I guess the final song would be another Hinobita song. Oh, it's this one. Yes.
Moving down from one of those classic 200 BPM Hinobitas to a 163, but also moving down to an 11. So compared to the speed of what we were seeing in that previous song, this is going to be much, much slower, and I think that's going to lend itself to a lower perfect count, better marvelous attack. Hinobita songs are generally good sync. So this is one of those ones that could once again come down to just a couple EX or even be a tie.
Well, every player has their own strengths and weaknesses. I think personally, I find 200 BPM to be hard, but I know people who think 200 is easy, and I'm like, oh, that's good.
All right, coming out of that intro, there's one great from Creteture, which was actually the difference of the 2 EX we see between them. Although right now, he's back in the lead. So this could be going back and forth between them all song long. Yep, still just 1 EX apart. These two are so well suited for each other.
You rarely get such perfect rivals, especially in a tournament setting, I think.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of doing the pool waterfall format, is that you start to see it. We've already seen it a couple times today. They are just trading blows.
Entered the blackout, and we left the blackout with a tie.
Wow, and the odds that after coming out of the blackout, we had a 5-7-3 EX tie.
I think I'm supposed to point at...
It means we're supposed to pray to the Konami gods, I think. Okay, in just the last few seconds, BagMan had picked up a good and a couple greats, which gave Crete the opportunity to take a little bit of a lead here. So in the back half of this song, it is going to be up to BagMan to hold on to that perfect marvelous and see if Creteture drops anything to let him pick up the tie like he did again last time, or potentially even a win. Okay, coming into the final choruses. We'll get to hear through this twice. Is Creteture going to give BagMan the opportunity to come back in this set?
Demeki is running that last stream white. Oh, there's a few pass.
Teacher says, I want no opportunities. I'm going to get the great full combo, 1280 EX, and win the song in the set. Only 37 perfects. 37-3 to 49-3 and 1. Great job to Creteture. Great job to BagMan. Okay. Now, we're going to do a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple moments.
Creteture's been on a roll so far. Alright, sorry for that. We were having round 1 moments.
We love a round 1 moment. But there's so much that we can talk about now that we're back.
Yeah.
We've had a card draw in the last couple minutes, and oh, what a card draw it is. Paranoia, Hades, Prey, and Seduction. I mean, what is there to say about Paranoia?
Paranoia Hades is a brutal, brutal chart. Regardless of what you're playing, it's just gnarly. Alright, we're entering the slowdown.
Yeah.
Doumeki just gets her first break here, and then we get her.
Luckily, at least on the 11, the slowdown isn't too challenging. But once you come out of the slowdown, the hard stuff gets started again, which means that there is opportunity for BagMan to make up the ground that he's lost.
Both players seem to really know. Alright. Yeah, they both ran that speed of white.
Question is, how are they going to do on these crossovers in the end? Looks like they're both handling it perfectly well.
Perfectly double sub-up crossovers. I do not want to do that legit, actually. Wow. Wow, Dell gets one grade on that. 31.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if we had seen the PFC on that. Paranoia Hades, such a hard song to time.
31, I think, is actually really solid. Very strong showing by Bag as well.
Absolutely.
Very equal fast slow splits, which I think for a song like this is
no easy task.
Alright, we have Prey next.
Yeah, from one 18 to another 18.
Or in this case, 111 to another 11.
That's right. Big shift in the BPM from 150 all the way up to 210.
210 is brutal. You know, I think I said that I'm not sure if I said, but like, it is fast.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear it right now, just how fast this song is.
I think this might have been like one of the original UV boss songs. I can't tell.
Both of them have clear familiarity with the 15 of this chart.
Which also is not an easy chart.
No, by no means an easy chart.
Alright.
But at least it has good sync, consistent sync. Nice little warm-up at the beginning. Each of them picking up their single perfect.
You see, you gotta get that first perfect just to calm the nerves, you know?
That's right, you get it out of the way early. Alright, Tide coming out of that slowdown. Or sorry, not that slowdown, that freeze. Okay, first grade picked up by BagMan. So just a couple EX that Doumeki has pulled ahead with. We see a 9 EX differential at the freezes here. The rhythms, I'd say, get a little bit trickier as the song goes on. Also, just becomes more relentless.
It becomes more erratic. Especially after the drop here.
Right. Handling the drills really well. Now, Doumeki with only 12 perfects thus far.
Something about these patterns with like the drills at this BPM makes it so easy to just pick up so many perfects at once.
Yeah, especially rushing.
Dell still holds onto her gold.
All right, see if we can finish it out. One more note.
Okay.
There
I
we
thought I
go.
jinxed her for a sec, but
Oh no, excellent showing. I think about maybe like 22 perfects.
yeah.
21 perfects. Excellent job, doumeki. And great showing from BagMan as well. But doumeki's going to take that one 2-0.
I believe that Dell's first 15th PFC might have been My Drama, which I was there when it happened. So it really falls in a very similar vein, I think, with like the 210, 220 BPM of it all. I do think that is one of doumeki's strengths, just constant stream.
All right, and now coming back up to the pad, we see Creteture and ItalianFalchion coming off of some wins. This is an opportunity for each of them to distinguish themselves within Pool 2, or hopefully an opportunity to be promoted. Especially for Creteture coming up from Pool 1.
All right.
Imagine if Creteture were able to get double promoted.
Oh, I am seeing this card draw right now, and I have opinions about this card draw.
Please do share.
Okay, sure. Let's start with the first song, Jet Coaster Windy. This song used to be so hard. I mean, it still is so hard for me to find a window on. It's 268 BPM, and it's a rock song by DJ Taka. So, you know, it has that, you know, the guitar makes it really hard for you to find out where that marvelous window really lies.
And it's not a good sync either. You really have to adjust your play in order to find the window on this song. Now that's something both these players are capable of, but it's no easy task, particularly when you've got 30 people watching you.
Yes, I think this is one of those songs where it is especially easy to get 300 perfects at once. So I'm expecting a possibly good EX swings here.
Weird rhythms to start, a little bit of blue note syndrome coming in the offbeats. Looks like ItalianFalchion handling it just slightly better than Creteture, but now they're both locking into that MA window, keeping it close.
Jenny is locked in. I think I would have gotten picked up like 20 perfects by now.
Wow. Yeah, and like you had mentioned before, the sounds on this song are difficult to lock into, and yet we're seeing from both of these players that they're perfectly able to do so.
It's a very important talent or skill, I think, especially in a context like this.
You can actually feel the ground shaking from the heavy steps that it's kind of Creteture's thing, like nice big heavy steps to stay locked into the window.
I do find that tactile feedback is one of the best tools in a DDR player's disposal.
Absolutely, and they are using it.
Jenny's still with a goal here, knock on wood.
Wow, perfect drills. Marvelous, I should say.
A lot of syncopated rhythms near the end.
See if Creteture's going to be able to come back. There's a little bit of an opening that ItalianFalchion just gave.
And very long freeze at the end.
Yes, it is one of those ones where you just, especially in a tournament, you're like, let me just step off of these arrows, please.
It is actually really
It's a very long freeze. Great first song from ItalianFalchion.
All right.
If you thought that was a tricky one, we got news for you.
I do have opinions about the second song as well.
Tell us about Neutrino Difficult.
All right, Neutrino. To start off with, I believe this is Hummer's only DDR original. And boy, Hummer really made a DDR original. We have BPMs ranging from yes to fast. I believe this starts off at 150,
That's correct, yeah.
and then, has a few, rockets at 300. And then, settles in at like 205 later down the line.
Yeah, and so what's tricky about that is not only are there those double and half and quarter speed changes, but there's also true speed BPM changes from 150 to 205. That's not something that you can simply visually adjust to. You actually need to adjust your internal clock in order to change, and that happens about halfway through the song.
It's almost a 3 to 4 ratio, but not quite.
Not quite.
That's what makes it so annoying. It's just... Also, the fact that it has those 300 little bursts makes you really want to think about what you want to use here.
Exactly.
Do you want to read this at 205? And just, fly in the seat of your pants for the 300? Or
yeah, exactly.
do you want to go the safer route at the risk of maybe bleeding some more EX?
Yeah, and I mean, they're both reading it at relatively fast paces, almost coming out of the slowdown section with the PFC for ItalianFalchion. Just one great, but wow. Doing so well right now. They've gotten through the majority of the speed changes, including the BPM shift here. Now it comes down to just dealing with these faster patterns and crossovers. A couple jacks are going to show up there, and then one slowdown here. They'll have one more little moment slowdown in a couple seconds. But other than that, it is a race to the finish. Let's see who's able to lock in, get those white marvelous streams.
Oh.
Looks like right now it's ItalianFalchion, but there is that stop followed by right, left, up. And
that ending jack
that
really
ending jack
kills a few runs.
can really kill runs. Song's not over. Don't you think it is?
Okay.
All right. And between incredible, marvelous attack, the intelligence and familiarity to know to put the song on mirror to end on those down jacks, ItalianFalchion has come away with another win.
I think it might have also gone mirror. Those jacks really vary by your mileage depending on whether you set them on up or down.
Great play from both players. I want to give a special shout out to Creteture for having come up from the first pool and to still be performing at this level. This pool is not yet over. We had a couple different iterations of these players against each other, but we have another card draw running right now between doumeki and Creteture. TO Akemi TCG running them through it, as always with a smile on his face, making the experience for all the players welcoming and enjoyable.
Really want to bring a shout out to Akemi and the gang here. They're the ones who really made this a reality, so I've known just a shout out to the whole Holyoke Mall gang in particular.
It is one thing to receive a card draw with Neutrino difficult on it. It's another thing to receive that card draw from Akemi with a smile that says, ooh, that stinks. Okay, so a couple great options here. It looks like we're going to be seeing the Safari difficult. The Safari is a great song.
Safari difficult.
Yes, a relatively recent addition to the game from A3, or maybe it's even World. Was that end of A3 or beginning of World?
I believe it is the beginning of World. I believe the Safari came out with Ongaku Stardom Remix as well.
Ah, that's right. And it became default a couple months ago, I think.
I believe. We've had a lot of these Stardom remixes, but not the original songs.
That's right.
Which is fascinating. I do think that the Stardom remixes lend a bit more to the DDR.
And it looks like Ishtar Difficult is going to be making another appearance here. So we've already seen it once. I think this is our first song repeat.
Fascinating. It might be.
And as doumeki and Creteture are stepping up, I think you can see it in his face that Creteture kind of knows, like, I've put in the work, but this might be my last set. I've already gone through 2 full pools, so I am interested to see, is he going to be able to hold on kind of the endurance component of Dance Dance Revolution that can be so challenging for all of us.
I think Creteture knows how Ishtar Difficult. I mean, sure.
And interesting that we had a veto on Silly Love, which is often a fan favorite, but is tricky in terms of the gimmick speed change.
It's one of those true BPM changes where it actually pulls a real soft line at the end. Okay, the first song here is the Safari. This is the bane of many 2DX players trying to get the 7th dan, I believe. In this case here, I believe the Stardom remix has a swing to it. So.
It sure does. Particularly with the expert challenge charts. Very swingy, very difficult with the crossovers.
I still think the Safari is the challenge of Safari's harder than Lin Swingworm Expert, which is apparently not a common sentiment, but that's a story for another time.
In the case of the song in front of us now, it is looking like it's going to be a tight one. We're only 1 EX apart coming out of this intro section.
And this is fascinating because it has both straight and swing, I believe. We have yellow notes here.
It makes awkward transitions between them, and the ability of these players to adjust is going to be crucial.
It can turn green starting here.
One thing is that being the difficult chart, it does eliminate a lot of the swing rhythms, but musically, that's still something that's going to be getting into your head.
It can be jarring.
All right, as we're nearing the end of the song, it looks like doumeki is holding on with an incredible PFC.
A very solid lead.
Question is, can we get through this final chorus and hold on?
But I do know that Creteture has a good song coming up for him.
Yeah, amazing PFC. 16 perfect PFC for doumeki.
And that seems to have been a sight read.
Wow. All right, what are you going to do against a 16 perfect PFC sight read?
I don't know.
Good thing is that Creteture's got a song that we know he has familiarity with in Ishtar Difficult. Hopefully has an opportunity to bring this set back.
Alright, 9 perfects. Let's see how doumeki fares against. I heard BagMan going, just do what you did again.
That's right. If you get a song twice in a tournament, you take it.
I mean, in my defense, imagine getting 19 perfects and losing because your opponent was Creteture. I'd be very happy with 19 perfects.
That's right. Yeah, here come those heavy steps again. I think when you hear that from Creteture, that's when you know he's locked in.
It's like ASMR.
I say we just take a moment here and let the steps speak for themselves.
Oh, they are tied.
Nice moment for you to kind of catch your breath. Hopefully not take a look at the score.
Now, I find the long free sections to be incredibly hard in order to MA. There's a lot of nothing, and, you know, it's just so easy to get, like, perfect.
Yeah, and coming out of it, looks like there were 5 more perfects out. Now 4 more perfects from doumeki than there were from Creteture. And that's going to make a difference coming into the final choruses. Are those 6EX going to be dropped by Creteture? Is he going to bring this in for our final and third song? They've gone blow for blow, and it looks like Creteture is going to come back with his own perfect full combo.
13 perfects.
Okay, if 16 was enough, 13 perfects. Maybe next time we'll get 10.
Imagine getting like low 20s, high teens, and then losing because your opponent was Creteture. That's a very strong showing.
Yeah, it's a position I don't want to find myself in.
13 is nuts. I agree, Hopecaster. So I believe that sets it at 1-1 now, which means our final song.
All right, final song, unless we see a tie.
Yes, it's Yamato Nade Nade. Kaguya Hime.
I gotta say, I'm very grateful to continue being paired with people who are able to pronounce the Japanese songs.
That's what 2 semesters of. Well, honestly speaking, I don't think Japanese is partially a hard language to learn. Is all I'm gonna say. All right. I like this song because it has a pretty strong drum downbeat.
I'm noticing a similar level of heavy stepping from Creteture as from the previous song, so I think he's saying, I'm not quite done yet. I want to keep this run going. I don't care if I'm tired, I don't care if I've played 15 songs already. My name is Creteture, and I plan to PFC this.
I believe this song starts pulling some funny rhythms towards the midway in.
Well, that'll be a good opportunity for doumeki here to start bringing it back. About a 14EX differential between them.
I think Creteture really knows this song. Long freeze section.
Neither of them shaken by those freezes. Simply streaming marvelouses. Alright, I'm seeing a couple perfects from Creteture on those step jumps there. I don't know if it's enough for doumeki though. We need to see Creteture make just a couple more mistakes so that doumeki can bring this back. Otherwise, the set is going to him. And there you have it.
Pretty rough.
Challenging ending, handled well by both players, but
14
just a little bit
perfects.
better from Creteture.
Very nice showing. 14 perfect. Creteture really has.
I'm going to say this and tell me if I'm wrong. These players are pretty darn good at DDR.
These players are pretty good at DDR.
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
Knowing these people, I've known, I've seen doumeki around a lot here, and she's pretty good at DDR.
I'm looking around at this crowd of people, and pretty much everybody here is pretty darn good at DDR. That's one of the beauties of coming here, is that you know that you're just going to be around so many top quality players. Two of which we're watching step up on the pad right now for our final match of the pool, BagMan and ItalianFalchion.
Okay.
What a draw. What a draw.
That is an interesting draw.
Now, admittedly, I'm not as familiar with the 11 of this first song as I am the 14, but it does have some weird musical things that happen at the beginning.
Yes, I believe it has a few time signature oddities here.
Yes.
I believe this is called Harasho Onigiri Circus Don.
The Red Cape Theorem.
The same people from, well, the Banmeshi, I guess. You know. I know that the 14 of this is very brutal, and I think that it'll probably be. It's one of those borderline charts. The 11 I haven't played in a while, but
regardless, we know that musically the start of this song has a lot of syncopated rhythms, weird little things that doesn't really have a backbeat. It just pairs directly with a sound that if you don't know the song intimately, you're not going to have anything to go to.
It's a section in like 7/4 or something, some esoteric time signature. But if you don't know that if it exists, if it's your first time hearing it, it can throw you off. Yeah, it starts with a 3/4.
Alright, here comes some of those weird rhythms. Luckily the 11 does pare down on it a little bit, but the backbeat of it can really confuse you.
Oh, that yellow note is brutal.
Yeah, that is a carryover from the 14. Amazing to see Falchion coming out of that intro and that yellow note with the PFC, because that is so hard to time. And weird patterns here, lots of crossovers, ambiguous starts on blue notes.
All right, here comes the 7/4. Falchion holds it together. Okay.
Nice, transitioning back into the standard time signature for the chorus. All right, Falchion getting a sizable lead here coming into the chorus. Right now, only 6 perfects. There is an opportunity before us for an STP, depending on how much ItalianFalchion can hold on in these final moments. All right, just dipping into the double digits now, but regardless, I think we're going to see a really amazing score come out of this song.
Okay.
All right, the final run here. All right, finishing with
very
16.
very strong. Very strong.
16 is a pretty common perfect count that we've seen here recently, it seems. And an interesting fast-slow distribution. You're seeing from both players that the sync is very, very early. Chance of 6-7 coming from the crowd.
We're talking about BagMan65 perfect.
68 holding the privilege of being the number between two funny numbers.
It begs to be resolved.
That's right.
All right. I believe this is a pretty streamy 11.
Now, most of this title I can't read, but I can tell you the last 3 characters in the title are 1, 4, 3.
Oh, yeah.
So there's at least that much.
Battle Conductor. I think this is like the only song from Battle Conductor.
This is one of those distracting music video songs. A little bit easier on doubles when you have more of the screen, but still having that moving animated, rock guitar in the background can be very challenging and distracting when you're trying to lock in a tournament.
It's a pretty draining 11, all things considered.
Yeah, the quantity of jumps is the kind of thing that can hurt the shoulders, to say the least.
Pretty long. I think it has like almost like high 400s.
Which for an 11 is absurd. There are some 17s in the high 400s.
There's some 18s in the low 400s.
That's right.
BagMan's putting up a very strong fight.
Yeah, that's right. This is staying incredibly close. Between the two of them, they're just 1 or 2 steps away.
Trust me, the last thing you'll want to see when you're tired is like a bunch of jacks.
All right. Looks like 16EX.
Oh, those freezes are gnarly.
All right, a little bit more of a lead from Falchion after those freezes. Hoping to see if BagMan is able to hold on for these last streams, maybe close that gap between them. And this is just relentless, the number of steps and jumps in this song. You can see both of them full focus right now on their faces, but this is a tiring chart.
All right, well, maybe not as high 400s, but still.
Wow, another incredible PFC out of ItalianFalchion with only 26 perfects.
Very even, fast, slow from both of us
and
here.
And an up score as well of 3 perfects.
So I believe that is 0-2.
That's correct. And a round of applause for BagMan, an excellent showing in this tournament, as well as some great commentary to start us off in the morning. But a win out of ItalianFalchion.